All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your Smackdown review for April 14th, 2023. Outside of Bloodline stuff, Smackdown pretty much fucking sucked. LA Knight lost again. They lose the New Day again. I don't know what the hell this company's doing. They're trying to fucking like just kill LA Knight, man. But the fans like him. He's over or whatever. He's one of your best talkers. I don't get it. Fucking keeps losing and shit. With the continuation of the Bloodline story, it's gonna be a rematch now with the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in 2 weeks, and they're building up more before the main event tonight. Heyman said Roman's losing his patience with the Usos. Usos didn't see when Heyman looked at him when he said that. Continue to tease that, and then yeah, that was pretty much it for that. The main things that happened tonight. All right. Get to it. First up, we got a segment. KO and Sami Zayn come out. Sami says, for the first time ever, the tag titles were the main event for WrestleMania. Two guys that started from nothing. We close out the show as champions. We haven't had time to think about it because of all the stuff going on with the bloodline. It's also a time of uncertainty. Draft coming up. And then KO says, we are the tag champs. We will defend the titles on Raw or SmackDown. And the Usos come out. Or first they say the Usos are coming for a rematch, and right on cue, the Usos and Solo Sikoa come out. Jimmy says these two acting like they're folding under pressure. You two been champs for 2 weeks. Me and U's been champs for 2 years. Jay says that's 620 something days, Us. What do you know about pressure? And then Sammy says maybe we don't know about pressure. You guys have to report back every week empty-handed. Your daddy Roman Reigns. That was hilarious. Jimmy like mocks Sammy, and then he tells Sammy to shut up. You've been saying the same thing for months. And then the bloodline, he says the bloodline is more dangerous than ever. And he says the bloodline is more stronger than ever. The Usos will be tag champs again. And then Jay says there's no cracks in the bloodline. You're gonna turn on each other again. And it ain't gonna be KO turning on Sammy. It's gonna be Sammy backstabbing his brother. Just like he backstabbed my family. And then Sammy says Jay is lying to himself. You want to act like everything is cool, like Roman is fine with you losing the tag titles. You want to act like there's no cracks in the bloodline. You want to act like Solo wasn't ready to drop you last week. You want to ignore everything I'm saying. You didn't just come out here just to talk. So then they brawl. And right before they're about to get in the ring and beat up Owens and Zayn, Riddle comes out and he attacks Solo. Everybody pretty much just brawls to end the segment. So yeah, that was it for that. All right, next up we got LA Knight versus Xavier Woods. Woods hit a drop kick. LA Knight hit a elbow strike. Woods went for a suicide dive. LA Knight dodged it, and then he threw Woods like into the ring, or like to the outside of the ring, his back or whatever. And then LA Knight hit a neck breaker for a 2 count. LA Knight hit a DDT for a near fall, and then Woods landed a drop kick, and then Knight he grabbed the ropes when he was pinning him, and then so this is the end of the match. LA Knight pins Woods. He grabbed the tights. The ref sees it, so she starts to completely grab the tights. LA Knight gets in the ref's face, and then Woods pins LA. He pins LA Knight, and he grabs his tights for the win. So yeah, I don't know why LA Knight keeps losing. Clearly, he's over with the fans. Yeah, he's doing that shit. He's one of their best talkers. I don't know why he keeps losing. Like whatever's good with the WWE outside the bloodline stuff, they just try to fucking kill it, man. I don't know why. All right. Next up, we got a segment in the back with Imperium. Imperium's talking or whatever. Xavier Woods shows up with his stupid trombone and shit. And then Gunther challenges Woods, and then Woods accepts. So it's gonna be for the IC title next week. Gunther versus Xavier Woods. Next up, we got a segment in the back with the Riddle, Sammy, and Kevin Owens. First, it starts off with the Riddle and Sammy. Sammy tells him to be careful out there. This guy did take you out before. I was a part of it. I was on that side of the fence. And then KO says, "What are you telling me to be careful for? Solo took you out for 3 months. Go out with everything you have. You got to take him out." And then Riddle says, "You both have good advice. I can only keep my side of the street clean." He says, "I can't control if the bloodline wants to attack me with a chair, or Sammy can't control his ooziness. One thing I can control, I can prepare for the night, how much pain I inflict on Solo, bro." And he pushes KO, whatever, it's like a bro thing or whatever, jock shit, whatever, I don't know. And KO was doing that a couple times to him during the segment. Got Judgment Day segment in the back with Kayla Braxton. She's interviewing Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. Kayla says Zelina embarrassed Rhea Ripley last week, and then Rhea Ripley got all pissed off. And Damian says Santos Escobar can't pick friends. Ray LWO shouldn't get involved in our business. Uh, Jade, and then Judgment Day goes to the ring, and then so they do a segment. Damian says to talk about Bad Bunny here. Says you want to attend the show, sit in the front row again, have a great time. But if you put your hands on my family again, what can happen? And they show the recap of the attack on Bad Bunny a couple of weeks ago. He wants it again in slow motion, and then finally Santos Escobar and LWO come out. So it's Damian Priest versus Santos Escobar. Santos hit a crossbody. Priest hit a suplex for a 2 count. Santos hit a drop kick for a near fall, and then Priest hit a super kick, sending Santos to the outside. Damian Priest jumped off the steps, and then he did like a double axe handle strike or whatever, jumping off the steps. Damian Priest planted Santos face first for a 2 count, and then Santos hit a Hurricane Rana for a near fall. Santos landed a moonsault for a 2 count, and then so Rhea distracted the ref. This allowed Dominic to help Priest out. And then LWO, the other two guys, they attacked Dominic on the outside. Rhea Ripley, she grabs Santos Escobar's foot. And then Zelina Vega attacks Rhea Ripley on the outside. Damian Priest hit a chokeslam for the win. After the match, Damian's about to put Santos to the announce table, and then Ray comes out and attacks Damian. And then in the ring, Ray and Dom square off, and Ray punches him. He's about to go for a 619, and Damian Priest pulls Dominic out of the way, out of the ring. So that was it for that. Solid match, I guess. I like this Ray Dominic storyline. All right, next up we got Bloodline segment in the back. Paul Heyman says, "I got off the phone with Roman, fight with Chief. Riddle didn't just embarrass you. He's talking to Solo and the Usos here, but or mostly Solo. When someone embarrasses you, that person embarrasses your entire family. They embarrassed the Usos, Alpha, Sika, Yokozuna, Umaga, Rikishi, and Roman." And then Solo put his hand on Paul Heyman's shoulder. Then he took it off, and then he says, and he tells Paul Heyman, "Tell the tribal chief, I got this." Hilarious. That's kind of low key funny, I guess. I don't know. All right, next up we got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. They come out. They're the new women's tag team champions. They got fucking Pyro. Didn't really care about this. And then what's her face? Sonya and the other girl, Chelsea something. They come out. This segment was fucking terrible. Don't really care. All right, next up was Nakamura. Oh, Nakamura's back. Nakamura's terrible, man. He beat Madcap Moss with a Kinshasa. Don't really care. And then after the match, they show was it? Oh, yeah. Scarlett had like a card of Nakamura on it. She put it on the table, and then Cross says TikTok. So it's gonna be Karrion Cross feuding with Nakamura next. Yeah. Hold on, I'm recording. Viking Raiders attack Braun and Ricochet. Don't really care about that. Riddle versus Solo. Paul says there is. So before the match starts, Heyman says there's tag titles. You will lose those titles because Roman is losing his patience with you, with the two of you, and he looks at the Usos when he says this. He's standing behind them. Jay trips Riddle, and then the ref tosses KO and Sammy. Then the Usos, and then he tosses the Usos out. Solo hits him with the Samoan drop, and then change the image. And then Solo hit an elbow strike for a 2 count. Riddle landed an exploder, and then Riddle hit the floating bro for a near fall. Usos come back. KO and Sammy brawl on the outside. And then Solo hit a super kick and a Samoan spike for the win. After the match, carried Riddle on the announce table. I think they got an image of that. Hold up. Come on, it's all at the end. Yeah, there we go. And then yeah, so that was it for that. Solid main event. I thought Riddle would win, but I think this is gonna continue. Maybe they'll do another match at Backlash. So Riddle can get revenge for the storyline injury that he gave him in December. So yeah, that was it for SmackDown.